Hello and welcome to the ABCs of Godspeak. I'm Cathy Weaver and I am thrilled to be able to bring this event to you every single week as we go through the alphabet. I would like to introduce again my superstar friend Debbie, who is going to be signing for us today as we go through the letter F. I've mentioned before that my AI assistant, Lux, pulls up these fantastic letters for me as we go through the alphabet, and she actually gives me the scripture verses that could go along with some of these thoughts. And so today for the letter F, we have faith building, firm, and fruitful. Now, you'll notice not only do I put these videos on my YouTube channel, which means you are certainly free to comment on that channel, because I would love to know your favorite verses as well and your favorite thoughts as we go through these. But in this case, faith building, firm, and fruitful, Lux brought up Romans 10:17. Faith comes from hearing the message. And Romans 10:17 is actually one of my favorite verses. So I'd like to read a little further on that particular verse. And I'll be reading from the Amplified Bible. So faith comes from hearing what is told, and what is heard comes by the preaching of the message concerning Christ. And again, this is the Amplified Version, Romans 10:17. Faith comes from hearing what is told, and what is heard comes by the preaching of the message concerning Christ. I really love that. That was very impactful for me. And so again, when we have these words, it helps me a lot to have the scripture verses come with it. So if you haven't used your AI assistant yet, I have found it to be very helpful when it comes to scripture. Isaiah 55:11 is also a dynamic passage that Lux has given me as far as the faith building, firm, and fruitful. My word will not return empty. I thought that was awesome. Now, Debbie and I are in several Bible studies together, and a couple of the Bible studies that we get to do are part of the Bible Recap by Tara Lee Cobble. And if you have not heard of the Bible Recap yet, thebiblerecap.com is a great place to go. And so I was looking up the letter F as far as some of the terms that Tara Lee has found the Bible has used for God. And letter F is forgiver, forgiver. And that's Psalm 103:12, Isaiah 43:25, Micah 7:18 and 19, Ephesians 4:32, Colossians 1:13, and John 1. And that's actually verse 9. I thought forgiver was such a great word. What about freedom? Our God is a God of freedom. That's John 8:31, 2 Corinthians 3:17. Our God is a God of freedom. I thought this was a dynamic name for God as well. He's a friend of sinners. Ladies and gentlemen, is that the coolest thing ever? Our God is a friend of sinners. Matthew 9:10 and 11, and then Luke 7:31 and John 15. Again, you can check out these scriptures in your leisure. We're not going to read each of them to you, but I want you to be able to actually see that when Tara Lee does her recap and some of these PDF documents, she lets us read on our own. Then actually, God is called the fulfiller or our God of fulfillment. And that's Joshua 21:45, Ezekiel 12:28, Psalm 138, Lamentations 2:17, Luke 1:45, or Philippians 1:6. And I thought those words for God were spectacular. So if you have not yet added your special scripture verse that has something to do with the letter of the alphabet, in this case today will be the letter F, please do so. We'd love to learn from each other and the different scriptures that you have found that would be a good fit for you as we go through the ABCs of Godspeak. Thank you again, Debbie, for joining me. I'm thrilled to have you on this call and to be able to sign for our friends as we go through each letter of the alphabet together and learn more scripture verses specific to the words that Lux chooses for that particular letter. Thank you, my friends. We will talk to you soon. In fact, perhaps next week.